Hey, all right. So, getting back to our movie database from earlier. All right, so we've got the. Let me get rid of some of this stuff here. Sorry. All right, so we are. Let's make sure this file here is the way it's supposed to be. Sorry about that. All right, so we got our. I went ahead and created the tables that we need in order to create the query. So I got some data in there. So I want to open up the locations table and show you what it looks like. All right, so this is the what I went with. So went ahead and decided that there might be different locations within each room. So represent that here by living room. It's actually got, a couple of shelves listed, and then the bedroom's got a bin, the office has got a cabinet top, and the basement's got a box. So you can imagine this could have box 1, 2, and 3 of the basement. I mean, sky's the limit. This is enough data for us to test this with, right? And then we've got the movies. So I just put in some well-known movies. Went in and went with a year release because that's pretty cool. I thought when I was doing the research on it, it's like, oh, that's a good idea. Kind of steers away from our horror Christmas theme we had going earlier, but that could just easily be the movie in here as well. So we've got a locations and a movies table created. So the advantage to this is our locations are in a different table than our movies, and all we got to do is relate our location to our movies. Matter of fact, I want you to see into the movies table, we have a location ID in here. So in order to pick it, you just got to pick it by the number. So it will relate. You could also, you just have to have a way to know how this relates to the location. But once you have it related in a query, then you can do it there. So let me show you how that works. All right, so we're going to create and then a query design, right? And note, just about exactly like I was showing you before, there was just one key mistake that I was making. All right, so, okay. All right, because it looks like, let me, hold on. Sorry, I wanted to do this step separate than this. So I'm going to close the query without saving it. If we do our database tools and relationships, all right, so I want the relationship there to be gone. I want to create that so you guys can see it in action. So we're going to go to relationships here, and we're going to add our locations and our movies here. Well, all right, so because I finally did get this correct by putting the location ID named properly and has the right data in it and the right data type, this thing actually automatically picks up this and makes this connection. I'm going to delete that, and we're going to do it so you can see it. So if I take the location ID and relate it of locations and relate it to location ID field in movies, just by connecting them, it comes up with this box. This is what I couldn't get to work in class earlier. And we want to enforce referential integrity because that will allow this to work the way we want it to. And other things we don't need to change. We want this to be a one-to-many in this relating location ID to location ID. So we click create there, and it creates a one-to-many relationship. And because we have that relationship built there, we can close and we can save this. Right, and now once we create the query, we have that relationship for this to work the way we intend it to. So I'm going to create, not the query wizard, I'm going to create query design, and I'm going to pull my two tables out. And because I've already built that relationship they're there. It would probably would have built them again for us here anyway, because those are the two like fields that these have. And you have, in order for a query to work, you got to relate two fields together. All right. It doesn't really, you move it around and it'll fix itself. But I want to take my movie title, my genre, my year released. Right. I want to display those. And I want to display my room and my shelf. You don't have to display what is related. It just has to be related behind the scenes, so it'll pull the data properly. So we don't have to display those two. So then I'm just going to simply, I'm going to save this query. Just so I save it, I'm going to just say a name that's descriptive enough, movie location. All right. Now if we run this, you'll see that it, because of the way we got it set up, it relates the location table to our movie. Now if we go into, if we wanted to, you could delete this and put a different room in there and put the different shelf in there, but that would still be tied back like you would need to do it with the if we go to here, I'll show you. If I close this now and go to movies, if I change the location from there to 4, and run my query again, you see now we see that we've moved that to bin A in the bedroom, or I guess I moved it to the office on the cabinet top. So the benefit to this particular table, or this database, is that you can add to each table and relate them together without having to, you know, have one flat file like an Access database. And you could even create, there might be other tables that you need to create. Like you could do one on genre, for example, and then you could run a query that only listed the items for that particular genre. Like if you're just in a sci-fi mood, you want to know where all your sci-fi movies are, you could do it that way. Or which all sci-fi movies you even have. You know, there's other ways to do that in Excel and other things, like you could do a filter or whatever. But with the relational database like we're working with here, it gives you more flexibility to tailor things to exactly the way you want it. And so really all today we've really worked with is tables and queries. There are other objects. There are forms and reports that just takes advantage of these features even more. And we'll go deeper into that as we work through Access in the next couple of weeks. All right, thanks. Sorry for the delay. All right, bye.